you're not alone. If you need someone to talk to today, please contact Crisis Services Canada by either calling them at 1-833-456-4566 all hours of the day, or you can text them at 45645 at 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Remember, you're not alone, and Crisis Services Canada is here to help.
Hello and welcome to this live installment of Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions Limited. I'm your host, Graeme Forsyth. My apologies for starting late. I know that we're way over the starting time that we usually go at 10 a.m. But yeah, there was just some difficulty setting up the stream, stuff like that. But now we're here and I guess I'm ready to do this interview with number 29 of the Transcona Railer Express in the MMJHL, Dylan Arnold. He's a second-year goaltender for Transcona. He ended up winning the league's Rookie of the Year last season. I'm going to have a chance to ask Dylan about what it's been like playing in the MMJHL with Transcona, what it was like winning the Rookie of the Year award last season, and other stuff here on this edition of Coffee with Graeme with number 29, Dylan Arnold, here on ASTV Productions. Number 29 of the Transcona Railer Express, Dylan Arnold, joins me on this live edition of Coffee with Graeme. Dylan, how are you doing, man? I know that you got called into work last night to do the night shift at the car dealership. I also know that you were awaiting some news on a COVID test to see if you were going to test positive or not. You ended up testing negative along with your whole family, so that's some great news. So how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. Just happy to be here. It should be exciting.
Yeah, it should be. And how is it like for you? Just I know that you told me that there was a COVID scare for you. You said you were at risk, and it's thank God that you're okay and well. How are you feeling knowing that you got out of that one without testing positive for COVID?
Oh, I mean, it's obviously a relief. I mean, as is with anyone, but it's just a minor scare there. I mean, we were pretty sure we didn't, but got to go get tested. Got to do our part to stay safe and stay healthy, just like everybody else.
Of course, and that's the most important thing is do your part during this time. And I think that it's awesome that obviously you didn't test positive for COVID and you're doing well. And yeah, we're going to get into just your first two seasons in the MMJHL with Transcona. You're a goaltender that comes in at 6'2", 180 pounds. So you're a bigger goaltender. Do you feel like that was a big reason why you were able to have the type of success you were able to last season, along with just how strong your team was last year?
Well, absolutely, yeah, it helps. I mean, you take up more of the net, and you can kind of rely on your size a little more. I find that if you can know how to play with that size, you can definitely use it to your advantage. And yeah, absolutely, I had to adjust a little bit when I got to the league there as a young goalie. Shots are harder, the guys are a little quicker, but it took a while for me to get kind of set and catch up to the pace of the game with these guys. But yeah, once I did, everything kind of started to fall into place. And absolutely, I had a strong team in front of me. I had great defensemen. We had such a great decor. I mean, they really helped keep the second shot away from me. If I made the first one, 9 times out of 10, the second one was in the corner out of the zone. So.
Yeah, and you guys put up 160 goals for last season. You guys only had 134 against. Let's before we dive into just the season you had, let's talk about before the season you had last year, just you going into tryouts. What was it like going through the tryout process with Transcona last season and to the journey to making that team?
Well, I mean, I did have a good foot in the door with some of the other guys. I'd been called up a few years in a row for the playoffs and everything. I got to practice with the guys, so that was nice to kind of know the coaches and some of the returning players. That definitely helped make the process a lot smoother for me. But yeah, I mean, it's still nerving. I mean, it's a team that's it's very competitive. Everybody is, they take it seriously. It's kind of my first junior program that I've ever spent any extended period of time with. So yeah, I mean, you're a little nervous, but I mean, all you can really do is go in there and show them what you're made of, and put 110% in every time. But yeah, I mean, it was a really great experience, and like I said, they treat it so professionally there. They're such a great organization, and they just make you feel like part of the team right away. So I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, and you guys had an amazing start to your year this year, going 5-0. You had an undefeated season this year. So obviously this team is heading upward for sure with the type of season that you guys had this year. But let's talk about you coming into tryouts. Just you said you had a good foot in the door, stuff like that. Just what was it like for you just training in the off season last season to just prepare for the year coming up?
Well, I mean, it's difficult with all the regulations and everything, and I know it's tough for everybody else on the team too. Just hearing from the guys, I mean, with the gyms opening up and closing down, I mean, it's and nothing really to do. You can't be out and about too much, so it's kind of tough to stay motivated and all that. But uh, as far as it goes, I mean, you really just gotta you're not you got to think of it as that you're not doing it just for yourself, but you're doing it for the guys next to you in the locker room. So when we do get back to it, we're ready to continue that stretch we were on. I mean, we were at our best then. Really, we had a lot of guys who showed up as rookies who really filled their role fast. We had a lot of experience, especially on the blue line and all of that. And yeah, I know you just gotta remember that you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for the team around you too. And I feel that we really have a good team mentality when it comes to that. So I'm very grateful for that.
Coming into your rookie season, what type of goaltender would you say you were coming in?
Oh, as a goaltender, I thought, my role is just be quick, like just be fast. If anything, just be there, make that save. And you brought it before, using my size to my advantage. I mean, that's a huge key. And if I can beat a pucks early, be there first, then I can keep the reacting to pucks down to a minimum and really just use my size to take away the net from the guys.
And what went into your plan heading into the off season and your rookie year into just working on things like your quickness and stuff like that?
Well, I'd say after my rookie season, the biggest thing I really wanted to improve on was my puck play. Um, I mean, it's so huge if you can get the puck out of your zone before the other team touches it, right? I mean, just eliminating the chances. I felt that by the end of the rookie season, I'd really gotten comfortable with the pace of the game and the shots, and I'm fortunate to have a good coaching staff and a couple of goalie coaches on the team. I felt that the technical side of the game, I mean, obviously, always be working on it. But, I thought the next step after my rookie season was really to get better at helping the rest of my teams get the puck out of the zone.
And for you coming in last season, you had a chance to play in one exhibition game. What was it like? Of course, you got a win in that game as well. What was it like for you getting your first taste of MMJHL action in that game?
Oh, I mean, it was great to be on the ice for sure. And like I said, we had a lot of surprises. I thought actually we had a lot of guys who just kind of fell into their roles so perfectly, and that goes with the seamless start that we had at the beginning of the season. Like it was just, we did have quite a bit of experienced guys and some kids who had been around the room before, but yeah, it just seemed like such a seamless transition, and I mean, it was just always great to be on the ice.
Can you speak about just your head coach and Derek Gagnon and how him and his coaching staff would come out every game and prepare you guys so well to go out and face these teams?
They have an amazing understanding of what we all want as players and as a team. They're always looking for for us to talk to them, to be vocal, and to just let them know how they can do better. They ask us all the time. And I think one of the things that we have players have made very clear to them is, that practice is time for technical drills and them being hard on us and really, making us work. But when it comes game time, in that first speech, it's just motivation. Like, we've worked all week. We know what we want to do on the ice. We've been preparing for this. So I think before most of the games, their attitude towards it is just, we know what we're doing. Just get fired up, get out there on the ice, have a quick first shift, and really get to work on these guys. And I think that's really, really, really motivates the team.
Do you think just being able to have that relationship with the coaches, to understand that what their job is, the type of roles that they put you guys in, do you think those are the building blocks, the steps to you guys potentially becoming I guess a legitimate contender year in and year out with just the philosophy that this coaching staff puts out?
Absolutely. I mean, it's so important to trust in the process and trust in your coaches and all that. And they work tirelessly at that. They are always, like I say, looking for input and things like that. They work so hard. I mean, they put in so many hours that the players don't even see. I, they're tops. I love, being able to be open with them. It's like, they're almost like a friend in a sense. Always go talk to them.
Yeah.
Their door is always open, and I think that I and everyone else in the room really, really appreciates that. And like I said, it makes it so much easier for the guys to buy in when that happens.
Yeah, for sure. It's always awesome to have that type of relationship with a coach, especially in junior hockey like you're playing at right now in the MMJHL. So let's talk about the roster that you guys had. Like you said, you guys had some experienced guys. You guys had some rookies come in, I feel like, and fit some depth roles out there. Just could you talk about the group of guys that you guys had last season?
Oh, well, last season, I mean, we were kind of on an uphill climb after the first half of the season. So, I mean, there was still a lot of learning to be done. And I agree, like sometimes our depth wasn't necessarily there. That's, where other teams would wear us down. And I mean, we never really had the star top line either. We never had the one line that would just score a goal every shift or every period or something like that. We or just our style of hockey was a really hardworking, grinding style of hockey. And I think, like, last season, like I said, we were on that uphill climb and we were making it back. We were winning a fair bit of games, but yeah, like you said, there were some depth roles that needed to be filled. It was more of a David and Goliath, whereas this season, it seems though we were a bit of the Goliath.
And you guys ended up trading for Connor Grunston last season, and adding him was so huge. He ended up putting 18 goals and 8 assists up with you guys last season when he ended up making the move to Transcona from the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. Just for Connor to come in and do what he was able to do, how huge was that for you guys last year?
It was massive. I mean, when we were put up against the more challenging teams like Pomona Valley and the guys who are really up there, we did sometimes have a problem putting the puck in the net. It's not that we couldn't skate with them. It's not that we couldn't compete with them. And, Connor came in is almost, I don't know what it was with his old club. I heard, that he just wasn't getting the ice time, and I can't seem to figure out why. I mean, he is top line guy for us. He's putting the puck in the net any way he can find. He's, it's not always bar down with him. It's, he works hard in front of the net too. He gets pucks to the net. And I mean, don't get me wrong, super skilled player. But yeah, like he just always seems to find a way to put one in. And especially last season, it was huge for us. We really, really needed that in our roster.
Yeah, and this is a guy who ended up leading that club in points the season before, and for you guys to be able to get him, for him to be able to get traded to your team, I feel like that was one of the, if not the biggest move of your guys' season. For you guys finished with a record of 29 wins, 15 losses, 1 overtime loss, finishing third in the league. 160 goals for, 134 games. Special teams were solid with 19.7% on the PP, going for fourth in the league, and 82.1% on the PK. You guys were also tied for most home wins in the league with a record of 17-6. So let's dive into your special teams here quick, just to be able to have special teams like you guys had. How huge did you find that was for your guys' success?
Oh, it was amazing. And like I said before, we the style of hockey we played was hard. We were a grinding team, and when you do that, you're going to take your fair share of penalties like we did. But we had a solid top two defensive core. I mean, we had big guys in front of the net. Whenever I was in there, they always let me see the puck. And if there was a rebound, that thing was down the ice. And as far as the forwards on the penalty kill go, we just had some grinders up there as well. I mean, they were always in shot lanes, keeping the puck to the outside. They had a really, really good understanding of where they needed to be on the ice, and that was massive on the penalty kill. I mean, that does it all. I mean, nothing more deflating than giving a team an opportune power play and then just stomping on it, giving them no opportunity. And as far as the power play goes, I mean, like you said, we added some really skilled guys like Connor Grunston, and I don't know how they do it sometimes, but they just always seem to find the back of the net when it mattered most, and that was huge.
Yeah, and for sure, adding a guy like Connor was huge in terms of like just adding to your special teams and stuff like that, and just the team in general, just huge to have that reliability on the PK when you guys are executing at such a high pace, over 82%. So we're going to go to the first commercial break in today's edition of the show. I've been joined by number 29, Dylan Arnold, 2019-2020 MMJHL Rookie of the Year on this edition of Coffee with Graeme. We're going to go to our first commercial break, sit back and relax, sit tight, and join me and Dylan when we come back here on this edition of the show on ASTV Productions.
Why go solar? Solar is better than ever. Our revolutionary design and inverter equipment with the latest in solar panel technology for the ultimate in-home and business security. That's right, I said security. Grid security and security of your home are linked. Fortify your future today with a battery backup system. No maintenance. Quiet running. Did you know in Manitoba, grid-connected, off-grid, and battery backup systems are 100% right off in the year you purchase for any company or farm? Do you want to back up your internet, keep your tills running, and the lights on? We can install a system that is right for you with battery backup fully capable of taking on all those essential loads and keeping you running. When you call our experts at Evolve Green, ask about getting your free energy audit today. Call or email today to find out what system works best for you. 1-866-5EVOLVE or support@evolvegreen.ca. Also, be sure to check out our website at www.evolvegreen.ca.
Welcome back to this edition of Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions Limited. I've been joined today by number 29 of the Transcona Railer Express, Dylan Arnold. And Dylan coming off a phenomenal rookie season and translating it into a second season by going undefeated this year. The team ended up going undefeated in 5 games before the league shut down. And Dylan, we've been talking about just the year that you guys had last season, just the type of experience that you guys had, and just how guys would step in and do their parts. Just for you guys last year, was it, you mentioned how it was kind of like an uphill climb to the place where you guys got to. Did you feel like there was a certain point in the season where you guys found that you were finally starting to to get to the top of your game? Like, at what point of the season did you find that you guys finally found your stride last year?
I'd say right around the Christmas break, everyone kind of just realized what their role was, and we kind of found our identity as a team. And like I said before, it was just a grinding, hardworking team. It's maybe it was hard for us to accept that a little bit because as a team with maybe not as much skill as the others, you really got to go in game out and put in 110%, or there's no point in lacing them up. Almost, I mean, you're not going to win a game if you're not going all out. And we finally kind of accepted our role in the league, and we found a way to win a couple of games, and we just started to roll with it. Guys, like I said, they realized their role and made the most of it, and we were just finding ways to win. There was no real secret, no one way. We weren't relying on one player. It was everybody every night needed to show up, and when we started to do that, we started to win.
Let's dive into the season you had. You went 15-3-1 with one shutout, the best save percentage in the league with a .933, and the best goals against average with a 2.14. You faced an average of 32 shots a game. You end up winning Rookie of the Year. Just how did you feel that your game started to pick up along with your team's game as things got along, and you guys, like you said, started to really find your game near that Christmas time?
Well, I mean, like you said, as a rookie, you got to kind of find your place. And I mean, a lot of guys were doing that, me as well. I kind of just, I had to get used to speed and everything. But once I did, everything just kind of seemed to come naturally. I was so lucky. I mean, like I said before, the coaching staff was so helpful. And, I had a couple of other goalie coaches on practices and things like that. I could spend extra time with guys on the ice whenever I liked. So, it was just a bit of a learning curve, adapting to the league. But like I said, once I did, I kind of settled in and stuff just started to come easy. I mean, it's definitely no secret that I had a great defensive core. Again, like I wouldn't even be chatting with you here today if it weren't for them. They helped me so much. So, and just really everyone on the team, just such a supportive group. So I really have them to thank for the success of that season.
Yeah, for sure. And for you to have that as strong of a decor definitely helped. And I think that for you, it really, paired with that and your talent, I think really made for a scary combination with this Railer Express team. And, for you had a chance to face off against older competition, facing against guys that are, mature adults in this league. Just what was it like for you just facing older competition in terms of just facing their shots, just facing the style of play that is the MMJHL?
Well, yeah, that was probably the biggest learning curve. When you get out there, you see every line, you see their first through fourth, and there's definitely a big difference. You can tell when their scorers are out. I mean, I think the biggest difference was just the speed they played with. Like when they were burning down the wall, they were coming in twice as fast. They were able to get shots off in ways I didn't think guys would. They would come in with a nifty little backhander and really make me think quick, or they'd be smart. They'd play the shot off the pad. They'd be crashing the net harder. On the penalty kill, there were bigger bodies in front. I was looking around brick walls sometimes. It was big learning curve, especially going from playing with only guys my own age who I kind of had the upper hand on, being a little taller and a little bigger. But now I'm pretty average size for this league, and these guys they're big, they're moving quick, and it catches you off guard. It's really something you have to adapt to.
And could you speak about the pregame regimen you would have on game day just to get into the mindset out there and to coming out and potentially playing your best game?
Well, the pregame regimen, I mean, nothing too fancy. It's just get there a couple hours before, have your coffee, and warm up with the guys a little bit. I found that ours was pretty laid back, really, but there's like I said, it was a big team sentiment. So it was really just getting ready, with the guys, getting everybody motivated, same way the coaches did. They just really got to get everybody excited. And that's kind of what we did. We all just kind of got excited, got ready to work.
And you guys seem like you were ready to work almost every game at home with a record of 17-6 at home. Just, of course, as mentioned before, tied for the most wins of any team at home in the league last season. And, for you guys, just being able to come out and protect your home ice, so huge in any league. Just how do you think that this team was able to come out and play some of their best hockey on home ice last season?
Well, it's no secret we have one of the biggest fan bases in the league, and I mean, nothing gets you more excited playing on Friday night than seeing everybody in their jerseys and just so excited to see you play. It was just a great atmosphere, and it really made you want to work for your home crowd. Like if you weren't working hard, it kind of felt like you were letting everybody down. So, and nobody really stood for that. So home ice advantage was huge for us last season. But yeah, I again, like it was just the type of team we were. It just seemed to really light a fire under us and get us wanting to work on home ice. Away, yeah, we did have a little bit more trouble. I found that slow starts were kind of what killed us on the road. Maybe not being as excited, and teams get a little far ahead of you, and sometimes it's hard to claw back like that. But yeah, I mean, like as long as we were ready to go, we were winning games. Teams couldn't beat us. They just couldn't handle the intensity that we brought to the ice.
And just being able to play, like you said, one of the best fan bases in the MMJHL. What was it like getting to experience that in your first season, being able to play in front of these passionate fans of this Transcona Railer Express team?
Oh, it meant the world to me and to everyone I know. Like it just made you want to work so much harder. And I mean, that, and I mean with just the support of the community, like just, I don't know, it's almost undescribable, to really have that many people rooting for you and just be able to look up in the stands and, have so many caring people around you. You wouldn't really think it for such a small little corner of the city, but there are just some diehards out there that just make you want to work so much harder.
Yeah, and it's that's one of the best things about the game is just getting to be able to play in front of fans. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling, especially when the fans are as passionate and loyal as your guys' fan base is. Is it something that you had a chance to experience before, playing in front of a fan base like this?
Honestly, no. This is kind of my first real experience with it. But yeah, I wish it had been happening a long time ago. I mean, it's just like I say, it's just the most amazing feeling.
Let's move into just the teammates you got to play with in your like in the goaltending room with this team. Of course, you got to split time with Justin Powers, who's playing on the team this season. You guys also had a chance to learn from a goaltender in Wyatt Amez. My apologies if I didn't pronounce that name right, but Wyatt Amez played 9 games. He played 33 games back in the season before. So just what was it like getting to come in as a rookie goaltender and just learning the ropes from a goaltender like Wyatt?
Oh, I mean, it was really good to have some experience for sure. And I mean, I think the biggest thing coming in and having a guy like that around was, he had already kind of developed the confidence that it takes to play in the league. I mean, as a rookie, when you're coming in, you're a little nervous. It's going to take you a while to find your role for sure. And it really meant a lot to have a guy there who would just tell you, like when it comes game time, just trust your gut kind of thing. And as a rookie, sometimes you're skittish. And yeah, it really meant a lot to just have that perspective there on the ice to learn from, as well as just like such a hard competing guy in practice too. Really made you want to work and really made you understand the type of work that you needed to put in if you wanted to be successful in the league.
You end up winning Rookie of the Year last year. You end up finishing with the best save percentage and goals against average in the league. Coming in as a rookie coming in where, you weren't having as much success in places like the teams you played in before with, like the Sharks AAA teams over the years, the Winnipeg Bruins U18 AAA team. You come in and put up the best numbers that I've ever seen you put up on your stat sheet. For you to just come in, put in the work you did to get ready for the season, just for you to put up the types of numbers that you did, just how grateful were you to just get rewarded at the end of the season by winning this Rookie of the Year award?
Oh, I mean, it was a great honor. I mean, it was amazing to be recognized by the league. I mean, it's just it's surreal. I mean, I've never got to accept an award like that before, but I mean, at the end of the day, you don't do it for the awards, you do it for the guy sitting next to you in the room. So I mean, I was just really happy that I was getting recognized for just trying to do my part. I mean, like I said, it's the last thing you do it for, but it felt really nice for sure.
Was it something that you were expecting that you were going to win the award, or was it something that came as a surprise for you?
Definitely a surprise. I mean, there's so many other great rookies in the league. I mean, there were some other players who just as easily could have got it. And like I said, it's not something you think of for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, if you do or you don't win an award, I mean, just you got to go out there every day and find a reason to do it. It's not going to be because somebody handed you a plaque or anything like that. But I mean, yeah, I was a little surprised when I got it, but absolutely just full of excitement and pride. And again, I'm very grateful for the team around me too. Like I said, there's no way I'd be accepting any awards or be even here with you today if it weren't for having such a great supportive team around me.
Yeah, and this team has made a lot of noise in the league this season with going 5-0, and I think you guys definitely had the skill and the game to be able to go out and have the type of start that you guys did this season. We're going to talk about next season coming up here after the break, but before we go into break, I just want to ask you about just the potential playoff matchup that you guys were going to have that ended up getting canceled due to COVID-19. You guys were riding into the playoffs hot on a 4-game win streak, and you were set up to go against the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, who were coming in with a 3-game winning streak for themselves. So just how excited were you guys at the time for the challenge? 2 hot teams coming in, facing off against this Raiders team with you guys both having, I'm sure, so much to prove in that first round.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're a good team, absolutely. I mean, they have been for many years too. We know them. We've met them in the playoffs before. We were definitely excited to meet them again. I mean, them just like us, amazing fan base, a really hard atmosphere to play at. But I think as a group, we were just most excited to come up against a team that was going to challenge us and really let us know what it's like and what we're going to have to do to be successful in the playoff run. The last thing you want in the first round is, a 4-game sweep or a bye or anything like that. We knew we weren't going to have that. But we knew they were going to make us work for every point, and every night they were going to make us work to win. So we were just kind of excited to have that challenge facing us, you can't shy away from a challenge, and that's what playoffs are about. You're going to face harder teams if you can continue to find a way to win. So we were all just very excited for that challenge.
After the season ended, the disappointment of not being able to play in playoffs, you had some time to probably reflect and sit back and just, I guess, reflect on the season that you had in your rookie year after having such success in the league with having that type of team that you did. Just what were the biggest things that you kind of sat back and reflected on as the season, ended?
Well, I mean, when the season ended, I mean, the biggest thing was just, time to work on my game again, unfortunately, like you said, we didn't get to play it out and that kind of stung, but, yeah, it's just time to think of what I can do better for the team, and everyone was doing it, it like I said, it hurt a lot when you didn't get to prove yourself. So everybody knows that next year is twice as much pressure. You gotta find your way back to that position and earn your spot again. And if if chances are going to come, maybe not every season anymore with the situation we're in, if we do get a chance, we're going to make it count. And I think that's just the mentality for everybody in the room. We got to get back to where we were, and we're going to. We're ready to do it.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about your season this year that you guys had coming up here on this edition of Coffee with Graeme. I've been joined by 2019-2020 MMJHL Rookie of the Year of the Transcona Railer Express, Dylan Arnold. On this edition of the show, we're going to go to our second or a couple of commercial breaks here. Stick with us on this edition of Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. Welcome back to this edition of Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions Limited. Before we move into this final part of the segment, I just got a message from my boss. I thought I changed it before the show, but I obviously didn't. So the description is a bit weird. It says that this episode would be used for editing. The reason it says that is because this was supposed to be an interview done yesterday, but Dylan wasn't able to join me, so we decided to do it today. I was pretty sure that I changed it, but obviously I didn't. So after the show, you guys are going to see an updated description of what today's episode was about. But yeah, back on the break here from the two commercials that you just watched on Coffee with Graeme with number 29 of the Transcona Railer Express, Dylan Arnold. And we've just been talking about, Dylan's first season in the league, just what it was like winning that Rookie of the Year award last year. He credits his team so much, and why wouldn't he? His team is phenomenal, and they showed that they were phenomenal this season with the type of dominance they displayed in those 5 games. But Dylan, you talked about how after the season ended, you were just thinking about how you could become a better goaltender. So just how did you kind of go into the off season planning to train coming into this season in terms of just the things that you felt you needed to work on coming into your second season after having a season with so much success?
Well, like I said before, it's a fast league, and I felt that that's the biggest thing, just be faster, be quicker, be better. You got to be ready for those top tier players shooting on you. So you got to work on your reaction. I mean, I think that at the end of every season for me, you kind of just break it right back down to the basics. Just strength training, get faster, work on reacting to pucks, work on controlling your rebounds, just everything. That's the time where it's really time to upgrade your game and just level up in every way possible.
Yeah, and it seems like you were off to a great start this season. You went undefeated. You were first in the league in wins, third in save percentage, tied third in goals against average, tied with your teammate Justin Powers. And for this team, of course, you guys ended up losing your top 2 point getters coming into this season, but obviously you had guys like Connor Grunston step up, Matty Boonstra, a rookie Evan Chudley came in and stepped up as well, and Riley Johnson. And you guys seem like you had a lot of depth this season on just not only the front end, but on the back end. Can you speak about just the type of roster that you guys had coming into this season compared to last season?
Well, yeah, definitely up front in the scoring department, we had some big shoes to fill, losing North Scorpad and Nathan Hillis there. Great room guys too. I think everyone was a little concerned when they left, actually. Like I said before, we had some trouble with scoring, but we had no issue this year. We had a lot of guys step up, moving Matty Boonstra from the point to a forward on the power play. I mean, such a skilled player, such a fast guy. He really completes that first line, I find. And yeah, we also had some rookies who really found their shoes this year. Like you talked about, Evan Chudley, I can't believe how quick of a start he got off to. It was just seamless from his high school career right to the Railers. And he's not the first line. I think he might have been second or third most nights, but he just found a way to put the puck in the net. And it wasn't necessarily his style of hockey either. I found him just he found a new role and he just filled it so fast. He fit into the team's just kind of the team's identity so quickly as such a grinding, hardworking team and just finding ways to score. But yeah, no, it was really amazing to watch some of the younger guys, like not just Chudley, but we had some other good rookies come up and kind of find their place. And as far as the returning guys, we had a lot of guys who just from our last season learned so much and gained so much confidence. So you could see the seniority of a lot of players really start to shine.
And just you spoke about a guy like Evan Chudley, how you're surprised how fast he came in and just transitioned. And you said that he was able to play in a different role than he's used to, but he was able to obviously take that role and produce to the best of his abilities in those games. Just you think with the way you guys added rookies this season, just the guys that you added, do you think that this just speaks of how well that the talent level is right now for the Transcona Railer Express in terms of just talent coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like we have such a dedicated coaching staff and general manager and the board and everyone. They're always spending, like I said, day in, day out looking for the right guys. And I think they did an amazing job of really picking who belonged. Things like work ethic were so high on their on the agenda. Like that's the first thing that every coach looks for. And I just found that they were able to pick up on a lot of guys who could fill roles that we really needed. And like I said, with Chudley, I mean, such a big hole to fill when it came to scoring. But a guy like that, maybe not quite as much as the guys who had left, but doing his part, getting a few here and there, and other guys like Boonstrip finding ways to score. Guys who hadn't done it before, or not that they hadn't, but hadn't had much time. And just the way they filled roles was just unbelievable to me.
How huge do you think it was for the coaches to make that switch with Matty Boonstra, of him playing defense in his rookie season to him playing forward this season?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't see that one coming, but it makes a lot of sense just with his two line mates there, Riley Johnson and Connor Grunson there. They're both really quick guys who like to snap the puck around, and that's Matty to a T. He's just such a fast player. He's got such a quick release and just such great ice awareness. They just seem to be able to find each other wherever they are on the ice. And I think that was a great move by the coaches to recognize that they just the way they meshed. And oh my goodness, they blew up on the power play. They could not score, and breaking out of the zone. They're so fast at moving the puck. I mean, it was just such a great move.
Yeah, and just speaking about that power play, you guys were at 19.7%, fourth in the league last season. Obviously, only in 5 games. Of course, the power play percentage probably was going to go down. That's just the nature of things. But a 36.4% power play firing on all cylinders. And like you said, like guys like Connor, Riley, and Matty had a huge part in that. How do you think that this power play could have potentially taken that step into staying in those, maybe in the 30s, maybe in the 20 range this season with the type of power play that you guys had?
Well, I mean, again, they were any opportunity they were able to seem to find the back of the net. I think the biggest thing was their ice awareness. They were just so good at finding the open man. They were moving so fast. They made it impossible for the defenseman to key in on them. They were always rotating. They were always shuffling. And the second the puck was in a scoring position, they just seemed to score. I mean, I don't know how they could have done it much better, really. Like you say, those numbers are astronomical almost. And yeah, you're right. They would have came down a bit for sure. But I think the way to keep it up there was just doing what they were doing, just finding guys and finding the net.
And in terms of the PK, you guys were at 86.4%, fourth in the league up until that point. Obviously, like you said, with this team last year being that hardworking, grinding team, do you feel like there was a lot of the same this year with that in terms of like you guys have the skill up front with guys like Connor, Maddie, and Riley Johnson just being able to step up on that line together, a rookie like Evan Chudley coming in and stepping up. But did you feel like the process of how you guys did things out there on the ice in terms of just being that hardworking team kind of still stayed the same?
Absolutely, it did. And I mean, we had I think we only had one new addition to our D core as a rookie there, Campbell. But yeah, like the guys, they're returning guys. They know exactly their role on the ice, and it just right from the beginning of the season, they knew how to handle the penalty kill, and they knew how to handle their own zone. They understood the importance of clearing the net and making sure I could see every puck and things like that. I mean, it seemed seamless from last season, really. I mean, like I said, they're all returning guys. They know their role, and they did it so well.
And would you say that you're finding, even though you guys lost your top two point getters this season, of course, is huge. Do you feel like this team with the type of seasons that like guys like Connor, Maddie, and Riley were having, a guy like Evan was having, just guys stepping up in general, do you feel like this team had a chance to be even more skilled than the team that you guys had last season?
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought it in the off season really, but like I said, these guys stepped up and they filled roles and they did such an amazing job of it. I thought that we were going to have some struggles early, and I thought we were going to have a hard time having guys find their identity on the team, but none of it. None of it. They just hopped right into their roles and found ways to score.
And with COVID-19 this year, it changed a lot. It changed, just basically how many fans could come in, just how pregame regimens were in terms of just players entering the rinks at no matter how many players would be able to enter the rinks at a time. How did you find that COVID-19 for you changed your game in terms of your pregame regimen this season?
Oh, well, yeah, that was definitely the toughest part about the whole thing. I mean, it was one thing not to have the fans in the building and everything, but yeah, the biggest thing was the pregame regimen. I mean, you could only show up like half an hour before your warm up or something like that. So you kind of just had to speed it up right when you get there, quick warm up, get your gear on, and you're on the ice. There wasn't much of a regimen at all for anybody, so that was tough. But you know, at the end of the day, with everything going on, we were all just felt super happy to be on the ice, if anything.
Yeah, for sure. Had to feel like a blessing, of course, getting to be able to go out and still play the game of hockey, playing in competitive games as well for a period of time in this 2020-2021 season. For you, you said like, yeah, there were no fans in the stands this season, like you said. Just what was it like just being able to, adjust to that this year, not having that packed house and just I guess relying on yourselves to create that momentum for you guys in certain situations?
Yeah, it was tough. It was a little quiet in there, and when you make a big save or somebody makes a big hit or scores a nice goal, you'd love to hear the crowd start roaring and really get you excited. But that kind of had to come from within this year. And like I say, as much as it's not your favorite, and we were just happy to be on the ice, and we on the bench are just as excited when any of those things happen. So, if as long as your teammates are behind you and are really just excited for you, then I think you should be able to still play with the same intensity, and I think we found a way to.
Yeah, with a 5-0 record, I'd say you guys were doing pretty good in that aspect of things. Of course, scoring 27 goals and only letting up 10 goals against, and a huge part of your guys' success again this season. Not not only the offense for you guys, but just the defense and the goaltending. And for you, like I said, went undefeated this year, first in the league in wins, third in save percentage, tied third in goals against average with your teammate Justin Powers. So for you to come into this season after having the type of season you did in your rookie year, just how much did that do for your confidence, knowing that the stuff that you worked on in the off season to get better, and just for you building off of that rookie season, how did that feel for your confidence out there this year?
Oh, I mean, that was huge. I mean, you're not a rookie anymore. You've seen the ice. You know what to expect. There's not too many surprises anymore. You can just be more confident in the net, and your team can sense that too. I mean, you say like how many goals we scored and how many we allowed. Well, I mean, it's really easy when your team's scoring so many times. Everyone just seemed to have this next level amount of confidence, and that comes with, just like me, so many guys are. We didn't have a lot of rookies this season, actually. I mean, maybe 5 or 6, but we had a lot of experienced guys now, and we just played confident, and it showed.
And what did you find in your game took the biggest step this season? Because you said that you really found that like early in the interview, you said that you really found that playing the puck, finding out that you were better off just becoming that extra defender, basically, and being able to help your team play that puck out. Was that one of the things that you found was maybe the biggest thing that came out in your game this season, was you being able to be more confident getting out and playing that puck?
Yeah, exactly. And just like you say, it's confidence just leaving the net. Just like, sometimes it's a little unnerving. It's not where you're supposed to be. If something happens, you're kind of at fault. So at first it's a little nerving, but you kind of got to get past that, and you got to understand that if the puck's coming around the boards and you have time and you don't get it, you're just making it so much harder for the rest of your team. And that's kind of something I had to understand, that though you may not be comfortable behind the net, or that you might have a little pressure, and like I said, these guys are faster, they're giving me less time and space, but you kind of got to get over that, and you really just you got to get there, and there's the only way you're going to get better is doing it in the game. I mean, it's one thing to have your coach do it in practice, but with that added pressure, I find that it's just a big confidence thing. You just got to get back there and move the puck.
In terms of you in the crease, from year one to year two, how did you find this season that you were, moving in the crease more from like post to post, being able to, be square to the puck, take away angles for shooters, and also for you just, a year more of experience for you facing off against those older shooters, that older competition in the league. How did you feel like your game kind of transitioned from year one to year two in that aspect?
It's just a better understanding of what's important and what's not. Sometimes, it's a quick play and all you have time to do is get across the net. You don't always have time to gain that depth that you'd like. Sometimes you just gotta, set your feet and try and make a save. I think the biggest thing, even in year one playing with the Railers, the biggest realization I had is that, you can work in practice as hard as you want on your technical side of the game and being square to every shot. But at the end of the day, it's just finding a way to keep the puck out of the net. And I think that was just that realization, and, the understanding of the compete level in the battles, really what I credit that learning curve to, and why I was able to do so much better. It's just, I found in years past, I was just focused on making every save the right way, when really the only right way is just to keep the puck out of the net.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And for you guys this season, with having the experience you guys had, with having a returning goaltender like you, and having Justin Powers coming in another season, for the type of team that you guys had, was the expectation for you guys to win the championship this season?
I mean, yeah, it was in the back of our minds for sure. I mean, now we had no excuse. We proved that we could play with the best last year, and we were only getting better. We were only adding experience, and yeah, we did lose some of our scorers, but that happens every season with the age cap. So yeah, it was kind of the expectation that we would work hard and get back to that position. Maybe not win, but at least give ourselves a chance. We were kind of just looking to the playoffs. We were just hoping we could be at the top of the league when that started and then get to work on the playoffs. It's such a different animal. I mean, we've seen it time and time again where good teams get knocked out. So, I mean, I think the focus for us first was just get to the playoffs and be prepared.
Now that, of course, the season getting officially canceled this season, which sucks because like you guys had a great team this year with all the stuff that has been going on this season. Have you had a chance to get back on the ice at all, to do some training sessions with your team, or has that been a thing that hasn't been allowed?
Yeah, not with the team, unfortunately. I mean, I've been on the ice maybe once or twice since the shutdown. Unfortunately, I've been on the outdoor rinks in the winter, but yeah, no organized sports have been allowed for us yet, unfortunately. I mean, it's tough. I mean, all anyone wants to do is get back on the ice now. I mean, we only have so long, and once you're 21, it's goodbye. And just like our captain this year, Hyde Rickard, I mean, hands down my favorite defenseman. He's just such a big guy, but he played 5 games this season, and we're gonna lose him. And it's scary to think that could be you next year.
Yeah, and I feel like for you and just everyone involved in just junior hockey and minor sports now, I think that this year, and I'm assuming you're thinking the same way, it's an eye opener for just knowing you can't take anything for granted out there.
Absolutely not. I mean, we're so lucky. I mean, it's such a great game to play. I mean, we all love it. It's our sport, and from every age, right down to the 6 and under kids. I mean, it's tough, but yeah, absolutely, we're understanding what it means to all of us. And I guess, yeah, like you say, it's an eye opener for sure. But everyone's just super excited to get back on the ice, and provided we all do our part in the pandemic here to stay safe and stay healthy, we're hoping that'll be real soon.
And for you coming into next season, if there is a next season, fingers crossed that there is, but if there is a next season, what are the things that you're looking to work on the most heading into next season with this Transcona Railer Express team?
Oh boy, as a team, I mean, I don't know. We're gonna just have to keep doing what we're doing. We had a lot of success at the end of last season, so we're just gonna have to try and build off that. We're gonna have to, after such a long break, we're gonna have to try and find our roles again, and it might be a bit of a learning curve. Some guys are a bit out of it. I mean, it's been so tough to keep up and all of that. But yeah, just for myself and as a team, we're just gonna kind of have to find our game again.
Well, Dylan, it's been awesome talking to you this morning. Thank you so much for coming on and talking to me for almost an hour on this edition of the show. I hope that you guys are able to have a season next year, and hopefully, if you are, I wish you the best of luck. And I think that you're gonna continue to put up those type of numbers that you've been doing if the team is as strong, and if you continue to develop the way you've been developing throughout these past 2 seasons.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
No problem, Dylan. So that was number 29 of the Transcona Railer Express in the MMJHL, Dylan Arnold, joining me on this Tuesday morning. I'm going to let him go now. I'm going to send it to one final commercial break in this Tuesday's edition of Coffee with Graeme. So stick with me, Graeme Forsyth. I'll be right back after this commercial break from one of our sponsors here on ASTV Productions Limited. Welcome back to this edition of Coffee with Graeme. You were tuning into this episode this morning with number 29 of the Transcona Railer Express, second-year goaltender Dylan Arnold. And Dylan with a fantastic start to his MMJHL career, and with the way this Transcona club has built their teams throughout the past few years, and just the way Dylan has been improving, just the way guys like Connor Grunston, a guy like Matty Boonstra, a guy like Evan Chudley, Riley Johnson all stepped up this season. It was going to be I think a year of a lot of success for this team. Too bad they had it taken away from them due to COVID-19. But like any other team, it seems like they're, especially Dylan, is staying positive during this time. And it's going to be fun to see what type of team that Transcona fields next season when that season comes, potentially. Hopefully, keeping my fingers crossed, because you never know what could happen with COVID-19. If we're even going to see sports next season again with the way things are going right now. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's edition of Coffee with Graeme. Before I end off today's show, I just want to give a special shout out to two wonderful women in my life. My girlfriend, Laura Prokop, who's turning 20 years old today, and her mother, Colleen Prokop. And I don't know what age Colleen is turning, but yeah, to my wonderful, beautiful girlfriend, Laura Prokop, I just want to wish you, Laura, the happiest of birthdays. I hope you have a wonderful day and get everything you wanted. And I'm so thankful for you, and I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me. You deserve to have the best day, and I hope you have it. And along with your mom, Colleen, I hope that you have a wonderful day as well, and are recovering safely and nicely from that surgery you had. Hopefully that you're feeling well. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome day for those two. I hope that you guys had a wonderful day as well this wonderful morning, tuning into this edition of Coffee with Graeme. Special thanks to Dylan Arnold for coming on and joining me as my guest on today's edition of the show. Special thanks to our sponsors in, Pure and Nata, Evolve Green, Fabricland, Winkler, and Toby Hockey for sponsoring today's edition of the show. And also a special shout out to you, the viewer, for tuning in today. I'll be back on Coffee with Graeme on Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time. We're going to start on time this time, so don't worry. It's not going to be 15 minutes later. We're actually going to get the stream figured out and have it working before we go live at 10 a.m. as well as that episode will be pre-recorded. So stay tuned for that edition of Coffee with Graeme's MFHL season coverage coming up on Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Time. But until then, folks, I've been your host of Coffee with Graeme, Graeme Forsyth, signing off now. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe out there. And until Thursday, I'll see you later. Have a good one. Cheers.